Talos, the engines of pain, of which the Talos is the most widespread, are seen as the pinnacle of the homunculi's art, creations of mad genius. Each one is part organic and part mechanical, festooned with surgical apparatus and horrible-looking weapons of war. In battle, this gruesome process is immensely pleasing to the homunculi owner, for not only does it provide an entertaining spectacle, but it also affords the Talos even greater motive power as it harnesses and consumes its fleshy bounty. Crackling and twitching as if reveling in the kill, the Talos advances with renewed vigour, its high-tech weaponry spitting indiscriminate death into the ranks of the foe. I really do love Taloses, and I think they're an amazing unit in the Dark Elder arsenal. And what we're going to do, we're going to have a quick chat about why they're so cool and why they're so good, and why I fucking love them. Good evening everybody, and welcome to Atlas Tabletop Gaming, where tonight I bring you another episode of One Man and His Model. And tonight's star of the show, the Dark Elder Talos. I really love these models. I used to have loads of the older ones, the metal ones, back in 3rd edition. They were great. But these are really cool models, I really like them. And so really good. I'm starting to rebuild my Dark Elder this year, and I started by getting 2 new Taloses for Christmas. I finished painting up this one today, and this one will be finished by the end of this week because it's in my box. And as you all know, the box is all about painting. If it's in there, it's getting painted. So why Talos? So if you're running a Coven army, you kind of need to take Taloses along with Grotesques and Racks, because they're so fucking awesome. It's unreal. So how do I roll with my Taloses? So let's first go on to what a Talos is. So a Talos is a monster. It has movement 8, weapon skill 3, ballistic skill 4, strength 6, toughness 6, 7 wounds, 5 attacks, leadership 8, doesn't matter, and a 3-up armor save. You can come in units of 1, 2 or 3, and you can give them all sorts of really good weapons. And what I'll do is I'll explain my weapons and the weapon choices I've gone for on my guys as well. They get power from pain, so if you don't know what that is, each turn a Dark Elder unit gets stronger and stronger, so they get power from pain as well. They also get a special rule called insensible to pain. Models in this unit have a 5+ invulnerable save, so again they're quite survivable, and they do explode on a d6. On a 6 it explodes with a unit within 6 inches suffers a mortal wound. So yeah, they're quite nice. They're relatively cheap as well. I believe they are 110 points per model. The way I arm them out with. So the way I run these guys is they come with 2 Haywire Blasters. So it's the Dark Elder Haywire Blaster. So it's range 24, assault D3, strength 4, -1 AP, 1 damage. But it's Haywire, so if the target is a vehicle and you roll a wound of 4+ for this weapon, the target suffers 1 mortal wound in addition to any other damage. If the wound roll is a 6+, inflict D3 mortal wounds instead of 1. So that's really cool. Some people do arm them with the twin splinter cannons. As you can imagine, 3 of them like that is quite cool, but I prefer the Haywire Blasters because they're cheaper and they can actually hurt vehicles quite well. It's like I said, it's a assault D3, so you've got 6 of them, so 6 D3, and that's quite nice. Now, they're sort of, you can have heat lances on them, which is a strength 6, -5 d6 damage, so sort of like a mini melter. It's only got an 18-inch range though. Splinter cannon, which is range 36, rapid fire 3, no strength, no AP, 1 damage, just poison weapon, so you're hitting on a 4 with it and you'll wound on a 4 as well. Poison vehicles are a 6. Or you can go for the twin liquefier gun, which is 8 inches, assault 2d6, and strength 3. Damage, or AP, sorry, is -D3, so you roll a dice, D3, the outcome, and 1 damage. Each time this weapon is fired though, roll a d3 to determine its AP for those attacks, for example, which is just and this weapon automatically hits this target, so that's quite cool. But you also have the Stinger Pod, which is a soak 2d6, strength 5, AP 0, 1 damage, no special rules. I prefer the Haywire Blasters, I really do. They're a lot cheaper. I believe for the Haywire Blasters they are only, let's just have a look on the old Battle Scribe, 10 points by the looks of it, so that's not too bad. So it doesn't bump up the price of the unit that bad. The sort of combat weapons, because they're okay at shooting, but you kind of want them in combat, I've armed them with 2 macro scalpels, which basically means +1 strength, -2 AP, flat 2 damage. But the great thing is, because I arm them with 2, they get, so if the model is equipped with 2 macro scalpels, each time it fights it can make 1 additional attack with them. So it's really, really cool. So you get 6 attacks, yeah, each. So 18 attacks from a unit, which is really, really cool. And they're at strength 7, -2, flat 2 damage. So they're really good at killing the meta, which is Marines, and they're quite hard to shift as well, because they do get that Feel No Pain, which is a 6-up, but they are toughness 6, they have 7 wounds each, and they have that 5 invuln. Now, the only way to take them in your army, when you run them as Coven, is to take the Prophets of Flesh, which will give your army, or your sort of grotesques, your racks, your Taloses, your Chronoses, a 4-up invuln. Yeah, a 4-up invuln, which is really, really cool. But with that, so the stratagems that will then come with that, which I think is really cool. So you get your 4-up invuln, which is really cool. You get a 6-up Feel No Pain from turn 1, and you move 8, so you're relatively fast. So you've got good movement, you're quite tough with that 4-up invuln, obviously your toughness is 6. Use this stratagem at the end of your movement phase. Select a homunculus, coven, monster or grotesque model from your army that has been 3 inches of any homunculi from your army. That model you selected regains D3 wounds, and that's 1 command point. So for 1 command point you can regenerate D3 wounds off these guys. So say if your army's been hammering this, your opponent's been hammering this unit all turn, and then it comes to your movement phase at the end of, you can regenerate some wounds, which really upsets people because they're quite hard to shift. Now, they all sound really, really cool, and the way I always run these guys is you have to move them up walkie, so they're going to go 8 inches, and what you do, you put a homunculi next to it. My homunculi model's all upstairs in boxes, and I haven't got one down. But the best one to get, if you are to do so, if you're running Prophets of Flesh, is to take Urine, which is a really, really old fucking homunculi that was there at the fall of the Elder race. And basically what he does is he will give you a rule called Sculptor of Torments, which is add 1 strength and leadership characteristics of Prophet of Flesh units that are within 6 inches of your arm. So basically you put him here, and you literally, they all go up as a unit, but what that means is they get +1 strength. So they're strength 6 anyway normally. The macro scalpels give them +1 strength, so they go to strength 7, and then with Uran next to them they then go up to toughness, or strength, sorry, 8. That's really, really good, isn't it? So you're now strength 8 in combat, and you're slicing at Marines on 2s, which is really, really good. And then what else he gives you is Master of Pain, which basically adds 1 toughness to the characteristics of any Prophets of Flesh unit whilst they are within 6 inches of any friendly Prophets of Flesh models with this ability. So basically not only will he give you +1 strength in combat, he also gives you +1 toughness, and he's about 90 points just to do that, but he's also a pretty badass character in his own right as well, so he can hold himself quite well in combat. And yeah, so you just stick him there, you move up the field, and basically slice and dice everyone. Now, for the whole unit, you're looking at 330 points to run a unit of 3, but it's completely worth it. Every game I've only been running one Talos recently, as I said, and he's always paid for his points back, no problem at all. People get really scared of them, start shooting at them, which means they're ignoring the rest of your army, but in reality they should be actually trying to focus these guys off the board, because 8-inch movement, they will be up in your grill very, very quickly. They do get power from pain, as I said, so in turn 1 they get a 6-up feel no pain. Turn 2 they get eager to fly, which is you can re-roll the dice when determining how far a unit with this bonus moves when it advances or charges, so it can re-roll charges and advances from turn 2. Unit by battle round 3, add 1 to the hit rolls made for these units with this bonus in the fight phase, so all of a sudden by turn 3 they're hitting on 2s in combat, not 3s. Yep, you heard it. And then turn 4, this unit automatically passes morale test. You don't worry about that, they're monsters. And then by turn 5, subtract the leadership from characteristics of the enemy that unit within 6 of any units with this bonus in the morale phase. And there's lots of things you can do with Dark Elder to bump up that -1 to leadership with people. But yeah, they're really, really cool. I really like taking them now that I've got 3. I've got a Kronos upstairs as well. And you could have a Kronos floating behind them as well, and a Kronos can give you 1 wound back a turn as well, which is really, really handy. Kronoses aren't what they used to be, but that +1 wound is quite handy, I think. And then having Uran behind them as well, giving them the buffs to their strength and toughness, again is a winner-winner chicken dinner for me every day of the week. So thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe to the channel. It really, really does help, apparently. And I hope you're enjoying all the videos I'm putting out as well. And yeah, see you next time.